That's only the first boat. The second kind of boat is what I've called the fishing boat. We see them go out here. They range from a small little boat that has just maybe a couple of people in, could even be a rowing boat or a motorboat, ranging up to fairly large boats that have a whole crew that go out, maybe have big nets. In the scriptures we read of how Jesus called some of his disciples like Peter and James and John while they were catching fish, working with their father in their fishing business. And the fishing business is great. We see the fishing boats here. They go out and they come back with a haul, and then they offer their wares sometimes to the public. Sometimes they sell it to fixed businesses. But the idea of the fishing boat is that every day you go out and you catch fresh fish. What kind of business is this? This is a typical kind of business that supplies you a regular daily income, a kind of a bread and butter income. It's a business in which you are offering services or products or whatever trade. It can be something as small as a little mom and pop shop. Something small, something that's just giving you regular income. It could be something you're selling. It could be in the form of freelancing, but usually it's not just one person doing this business. There's a lot more involved. It's slightly bigger than the freelancer. And you have this regular income. And so you have the advantage that you got like a steady income, and it's like a fairly normal life. It's almost like being in a normal job. The only difference is you own this business. It is yours, and the income is coming in steadily all the time on a daily basis. Now the first disadvantage in this kind of business is you're getting lots of small little amounts coming in all the time. Now if you've been working on a salaried basis, either being paid weekly or 2 weekly or monthly, you know that you've got to put aside money for your monthly commitments. If you are paying a monthly rental in your house, or you're paying your mortgage payment on your house, you're paying the payments on your car, you're paying whatever other stuff you probably bought on credit, your credit cards that you've been using, these are usually large amounts that you pay out probably monthly. And it's great to have money in every day, to be able to go shopping every day, to go and buy whatever you like because there's money in all the time. But if you're not careful, when you get to the end of the month and it's time to pay those bills, if you didn't set aside that money, you're going to have a problem. So it requires a lot of discipline to be in your own business. It requires a lot of discipline. And it's very easy when the money comes in to say, hey, we're getting a pretty good flow. I think we can go and buy that new car now and commit ourselves to an extra monthly payment. Can we? Next week, suddenly the sales drop. It's a lot of fluctuation and variation. It can be a very insecure business. And once again, you are the business. The business is dependent on you. If you do not work, you do not eat. If you do not sell, there is no income. It's wonderful to have your little fishing boat. And it's great if you can have a little business that is providing just enough income for you to live comfortably. And a lot of people, that's all they want in life. Just as long as we continue to get enough money to eat and buy clothes and pay our bills, and we just carry on life as normal. Don't let anybody rock the boat. No great big aspirations. I don't need to be wealthy. I just need enough. That's the excuse most of us make for never accumulating wealth. Well, I don't really need to be wealthy. I just need to have enough to get by. Well, how much is enough? How much is enough? Are you content just to continue being a mediocre, ordinary little person, never rising up, envying all these people driving their fancy cars, envying people living in those beautiful homes, envying people who fly overseas to exotic locations on vacation every year? Well, then the fishing boat's not enough. You're going to have to move up to some higher types of business. And so the next kind of ship is what I've called the merchant ship. That's more like the ships of Tarshish. The merchant ship is a ship that goes out and brings back cargo. I believe it's a picture of an importing business, an international business, a business that's trading larger volumes. Instead of your little daily bread and butter sales, you're looking at big cases. You're looking at big sales, large equipment, items that cost a lot of money. But because of that, you're not going to sell one of these every day. You may say, well, sell one or two in a month. Well, Solomon ships only came back every 3 years. They came back loaded, but 3 years worth of provision. So, if you want to have this kind of business, you could make very big money. But what is going to happen while you're waiting for the money to come in? You see, so you have the advantage of big amounts. But when you make a sale, it's a large amount of money that comes in. But your income comes in these isolated batches. It's not a regular guaranteed income. And what do you live on and survive on in the meantime? Unless you've got some kind of cash reserve or capital to carry you through. So before you move into this kind of business, maybe you should be looking at setting up one of the smaller ones first. Maybe you should have your fishing boat still going out every day to provide your bread and butter needs. And then start building this larger business that provides these large sales and large amounts so you can accumulate wealth and begin to become a wealthy person. And accumulate some kind of reserve in your bank account so that you can then grow and move further. Now, one of the best kind of businesses is the ship known as the oil tanker. The oil tanker is a huge, huge ship. And it comes and it sits there and it just pours oil out and pours oil out and it just keeps pouring oil out. And when it's finished, it moves off and then another oil tanker comes. And here where we are, we see them here all the time. Sometimes 2 or 3 of them at a time parked out there in the sea, just pouring their oil in all the time. What kind of business is this? This is what is known as a continuity program or a membership program or a subscription program. This is where you have a guaranteed regular income from people, where you offer a service or a membership to something where people will pay you on a regular monthly basis. So you're guaranteed. It can be like a school program where you're offering training, where people commit themselves for an extended period of time to say, we'll pay so much a month for 12 months, whatever the time period is. It's a continual flow of income. It's actually a lot like the fishing boat, but the only difference is you just set it up once and it continues to pump. And while that's busy, you set up the next one. And if you can set up several of these continuity programs, of these membership programs, where people are paying you a regular membership or a subscription, say to a publication or a magazine or something like that, it is a continual guaranteed flow. And although each one of them will come to an end, people won't stay with you forever. There will at least be an extended period, and during that extended period you can build more of these until eventually you've got all of these flows of income coming in, and almost to the point where you can budget on a monthly basis to know exactly how much money will come in during the next time period. So it's a great advantage having this kind of business. The disadvantage is you can't set it up and forget about it. If you've offered somebody membership to a system or a program that is offering them a continual service, then you're going to be working all the time to provide that service. If you're offering somebody a membership or a subscription to a training program or an educational program, then you are going to have to continually be supplying the education, the materials, the training, whatever it is, in order to get new people. So it's a continual maintenance, a continual administration, and always new materials, because people get tired of the same old thing. You've got to continually come up with something new, with something original. Otherwise, somebody else out there who's competing with you is going to offer somebody something better and more up to date, and you'll start to lose all of your members and your subscribers and your income will begin to drop. So it's a wonderful form of business to set up, but it's going to be a full-time job maintaining that business. You can see we're getting bigger now. We've moved from an ordinary little one-man show to a mom-and-pop's operation to more of an international company to something really huge that is reaching a lot of people. And so we come now to some of the bigger ships. And one of the other ships is the battleship. Now the battleship is a very aggressive ship. It's a picture of a marketing or advertising business. The battleship is a business that actually offers their product to other businesses. The battleship is a business that helps other business get going. The battleship is involved in sinking other ships and in taking new land. It's very aggressive. And in the business marketplace, it's dog eat dog out there. And if your competition is getting more people than you, if your competition is making a better impression in the marketplace than you, your business will die. So you have to get aggressive. You have to become very aggressive in your advertising and in your marketing. You have to compete with other people and offer something better than them. And very often, the only way you can survive is if you can rise up and some of the competitive businesses eventually fold up and close down and leave the market, then it leaves more for you. But in addition to that, you've got to come up with new market ideas. You've got to come up with new ways of selling things that people aren't doing out there. New products that people aren't selling out there, because the competition gets stiffer and stiffer all the time. It is a competitive market, and it takes a very aggressive kind of business to be able to compete in that marketplace. This is the battleship. And you can offer advertising to businesses. You can offer marketing services to other businesses. And there'll always be business for you, because everybody out there all the time is competing in the marketplace. But it's going to require a continual aggressive approach. And if you're not the kind of person who can be aggressive and really go and break new land, take new land, break new ground in business, you're not going to survive in this kind of business. The sixth kind of ship, now we're getting really big now, is the aircraft carrier. Now the aircraft carrier is also kind of like a battleship, but it's actually a bit of everything. We went on a tour a while back on an aircraft carrier that's been retired and is being parked in the San Diego harbor. And you can pay to go on board and take a tour of the whole ship, meet some of the staff and of the pilots and the different people that are involved. It's a fascinating experience to see what a huge piece of machinery the ship really is. Above on the deck, where you have all of these planes taking off and landing, and the control tower where all the control staff and the captain and everybody are, and then underneath, in the hull of the boat, the many, many different places where all the crew, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people on one ship, all involved. The kitchens where the cooks have to virtually cook around the clock to try and keep up to date. All of the different departments. It's a huge, huge ship. We're looking at a very large business set up here. And the whole idea of the aircraft carrier is a business that sets up, trains, and deploys others.